I wake up to the smell of old coffee and my own sweat, cramped in the back of this Crown Victoria with my knees jammed against the cage separating me from the front seats. Day 47, or maybe 48. I stopped carving marks into the dashboard after the first week because it felt too much like admitting this was permanent. The police car sits in the underground parking garage of what used to be the Riverside Municipal Complex. 3 levels down, tucked between a concrete support pillar and a rusted Honda Civic that's been here so long the tires have rotted flat. The fluorescent lights died weeks ago, so the only illumination comes from the emergency exit signs and whatever pale daylight filters down the vehicle ramps. It's enough to see by. Barely. My name is Derek Vance, and I'm a 31-year-old former insurance adjuster who never even got a speeding ticket before all this. Now I'm living in a police cruiser surrounded by the infected, surviving on candy bars from vending machines and rainwater I collect in evidence bags. The gun sits next to me. A Glock 22 I took off Officer Brenneman after he turned. 13 rounds left in the magazine, 1 in the chamber. I count them every morning like prayer beads. 14 chances to not end up like him, shambling and hollow-eyed, trying to bite through safety glass. It started on a Tuesday. I remember because Tuesdays were when I drove downtown to file reports at the municipal building, insurance claims for water damage, structural issues, the boring rhythm of pre-catastrophe life. I'd been standing in line at the third-floor offices, holding a coffee that cost $7, when the screaming started in the stairwell. Everyone assumed it was a drill at first. Then, Patricia from accounting ran past with her throat torn open, spraying blood across the beige walls, and assumptions died fast. The infected came up through every stairwell at once. Later, I figured out they'd been herded there. Someone in the basement parking had gotten bit, turned, spread it through the lower levels before anyone knew what was happening. By the time the outbreak reached the upper floors, there were dozens of them. I ran. Everyone did. But the elevators were packed, people trampling each other, and the stairs were full of those things. I dug into a maintenance closet on the second floor, pulled the door shut, listened to people die in the hallway outside. Their screams went on for hours, then they stopped screaming and started making other sounds, wet sounds, eating sounds. I stayed in that closet for 2 days, drinking from a utility sink, eating nothing. The sounds outside changed. Footsteps became shuffling, moans became constant. On the second night, I heard voices, actual human voices, and almost opened the door. Almost. Then, I heard the gunshots, the screaming, the terrible speed at which those voices got cut off. The infected could still run back then. They were faster than they are now, more aggressive. Whatever this disease is, it seems to degrade them over time, makes them slower, stupider. Small comfort when they're tearing someone apart, but it's kept me alive. When I finally crept out of that closet on day 3, the building was quiet. Bodies everywhere, most of them moving. I went down instead of up. Everyone else had run toward the roof, toward escape. I went toward the parking garage, toward the dark, toward a place people wouldn't think to look. That's where I found Officer Brenneman. He was slumped in his cruiser on level 3, driver's door hanging open, half his face torn away. Still breathing somehow, still conscious. The car was running, idling there in the empty garage. He'd driven it down here trying to escape, got cornered, got bit, made it back to his vehicle before the infection took hold. I watched him from behind a concrete pillar for maybe 20 minutes, watched the tremors start, watched his remaining eye go cloudy, watched him die, and then watched him come back wrong. When he climbed out of the car and started wandering away, following some sound or smell I couldn't detect. I made my choice. I ran to the cruiser, grabbed the shotgun from the mount, the pistol from his belt, the ammunition from the trunk, climbed into the back seat and pulled the door shut. The cage that normally kept criminals contained now keeps me safe. The infected are too stupid to work door handles anymore. They push and claw, but the car holds. The windows are reinforced. The frame is solid. It's a cage, but it's my cage. That was 47 days ago. Now I wake up every morning in the back of Unit 23, surrounded by the detritus of survival. Empty water bottles I've refilled from the storm drain that runs along the south wall. Protein bar wrappers from the vending machine I smashed on level 2. A torn sleeping bag I found in someone's trunk. The backpack I had with me that Tuesday, still containing my laptop, insurance forms, a life that doesn't exist anymore. The infected are up there, always up there. I can hear them on the levels above, moaning, shuffling, occasionally getting excited about something. Sometimes they come down to level 3. They wander past the car, peer in with those dead eyes, press their ruined faces against the glass. Then they lose interest and drift away. I've learned their patterns. Morning is quietest. Whatever rudimentary intelligence they retain seems to shut down when the sun comes up. They cluster in dark corners, standing still for hours. That's when I move. The garage has 17 other vehicles spread across 3 levels. I've looted most of them. Found food in 6, water in 9, useful supplies in almost all. The green Subaru had camping gear. The pickup truck had tools. The minivan had juice boxes that I rationed for 3 weeks. The vending machines on level 2 were the real prize. 6 of them lined up outside what used to be the employee break room. I spent an entire day 4 weeks ago methodically breaking into each one, moving the supplies back to the car in trips. Candy bars, chips, cookies, energy drinks. Enough sugar and preservatives to keep me alive for months if I'm careful. Water is harder. There's a storm drain on the south wall of level 3 that still has runoff flowing through it. When it rains, I collect what I can in evidence bags, water bottles, anything that holds liquid. I've gotten sick from it twice. Spent 3 days curled up in the back seat with fever and cramps, shitting into plastic bags because I couldn't risk leaving the car. But it beats dying of dehydration. I've tried to ration the food. Really tried. But when you're sitting in the dark with nothing to do but wait and listen to the infected moan above you, willpower crumbles. I've probably got 2 weeks of supplies left if I'm disciplined, less if I'm honest with myself. The guns are the other problem. Officer Brenneman's service weapon holds 15 rounds standard. I found 1 full magazine in his belt, 1 in the car. 30 rounds total, minus the 16 I've used. The shotgun is a Remington 870 with 7 shells. I used 3 of those in the first week, panicking, firing at infected that got too close. Stupid waste. Now I save the ammunition. Every shot has to count. Every shot is the difference between survival and becoming one of them. I spend my days in silence mostly. Can't risk drawing attention. The car radio doesn't work. Something fried in the electrical system during the first week. My phone died on day 12. No power, no way to charge it, no signal anyway. I tried the laptop a few times, running on battery, but watching old files and photos from before just made everything worse. So I sit. I watch. I listen. The infected have patterns. There are maybe 40 of them that regularly circulate through this garage. I've started recognizing individuals. There's one I call Business Suit, who wears the shredded remains of a gray 3-piece, his tie still knotted at his throat. Another I call Jogger because she's wearing running shorts and a sports bra, both soaked through with old blood. There's a kid, maybe 12, who I try not to look at. They drift past in irregular intervals, sometimes alone, sometimes in clusters. They never stay on level 3 long. Something about the darkness down here seems to confuse them. They shuffle to the ramps and head back up toward the light, toward the surface, toward whatever draws them. I've been up there once. Only once. It was day 23. I was running low on water and desperate enough to take risks. I waited until dawn, until the infected were at their slowest, and I crept up the vehicle ramp to level 2. The daylight hurt after 3 weeks in the garage gloom. I squinted through the concrete barriers at ground level, at the street beyond, at what was left of Riverside. Bodies everywhere, hundreds of them, dried and rotting in the sun. Cars crashed and abandoned, buildings with shattered windows, smoke rising from somewhere to the north, and the infected scattered through the ruins like broken toys, wandering in aimless patterns. The municipal building itself was swarming with them. They clustered around the entrances, packed the lobby, filled the windows. I could see them up on higher floors, pressed against the glass, staring out at nothing. I grabbed what I could from the vending machines, fast, quiet, my heart hammering, and retreated back to level 3. Haven't been back up since, can't risk it. The infected are slower now, but there are so many of them. Better to stay hidden, better to wait. For what? I'm not sure anymore. The first week, I convinced myself rescue was coming. The military would roll in, clean up the infected, evacuate survivors. I'd hear helicopters sometimes, distant, and I'd think that was it. Help was on the way. The helicopters stopped after week 2. Week 3, I thought maybe I could make a run for it. Get to the suburbs where there might be fewer infected, find a real shelter, actual food. I planned routes, timed the infected patterns, and psyched myself up. But every time I got close to actually trying, I'd remember the sounds from that first day, the speed those things moved, the way they tore Patricia apart, and I'd climb back into the police car and lock the doors. Week 4, I stopped planning, started existing. Wake up, eat something small, collect water if it rained, watch the infected pass by, sleep in shifts, repeat. Now it's week 7, and I don't know what I'm doing anymore. The isolation is the worst part, worse than the hunger, worse than the fear. I talk to myself sometimes just to hear a voice. I narrate my actions like I'm documenting everything for someone who will find this car later. Derek is opening another protein bar. Derek is rationing his water. Derek is slowly losing his mind. I've thought about the gun more than once, not to use on the infected. The other way, the easy way out, there's a certain logic to it. Supplies running low, no rescue coming, trapped in a cage 3 levels underground. Why drag it out? Why wait until I'm starving or desperate enough to make a fatal mistake? But I haven't done it. Can't quite make myself. There's some stubborn part of my brain that keeps insisting tomorrow might be different. Tomorrow might bring something new. Stupid hope. The most dangerous supply of all. Today is different, though. Today, something changed. I'm lying in the back seat, half asleep, when I hear the engine. Not the infected moaning or shuffling, an actual engine, distant but getting closer. A vehicle. I sit up so fast I crack my head on the roof. The pain barely registers. I press my face to the window, staring up the ramp toward level 2. The engine sound grows louder, definitely coming from the street level, definitely coming down. My heart rate spikes. People, actual living people, survivors, or raiders, or something worse. The infected can't drive, but desperate humans can be just as dangerous. I grab the Glock, check the chamber, keep it low and ready. The car rocks slightly as I shift position, trying to get a better angle on the ramp. Headlights sweep across the concrete walls of level 2. The engine noise echoes through the garage. Something big, a truck maybe, or an SUV. It comes into view on the ramp. A black Chevy Tahoe with reinforced bumpers and wire mesh over the windows. Moving slow, careful. The headlights sweep across level 3, illuminating the scattered vehicles, the support pillars, my police car tucked in its corner. The Tahoe stops at the bottom of the ramp, sits there idling. The headlights are blinding from this angle. I can't see who's inside. I don't move. Don't breathe. The Glock is slick in my sweaty palm. A door opens, then another. 2 people climb out, backlit by the headlights so I can only see silhouettes. One tall, one shorter. Both carrying rifles. They don't speak. They move and practice silence, clearing the immediate area with professional efficiency. Military maybe, or law enforcement. People who know what they're doing. The tall one gestures. The shorter one nods. They split up. Moving between the parked cars, checking each one. They're looking for supplies, or survivors, or both. I have maybe 30 seconds before they reach my cruiser. 30 seconds to decide what to do. Option 1. Stay hidden. Let them search. Hope they don't look too carefully inside the police car. Hope they take what they want and leave. Option 2, announce myself, make contact, take the risk that they're friendly, that they might have information or supplies or a way out of here. Option 3, use the gun, ambush them, take their vehicle, their supplies, their weapons. Become the monster I've been hiding from. I don't even consider option 3. Not seriously, I'm not that far gone yet. But options 1 and 2 are both gambles. Stay hidden, and they might break into the car anyway, find me cornered and panicking. Announce myself, and they might shoot first. Ask questions later. The shorter one is 3 cars away now. I can hear their footsteps, the scrape of gear against metal. I make my choice. I set the Glock on the seat beside me, within reach but not in my hand. I take a breath. I knock on the inside of the window. The sound echoes through the garage. Both figures freeze. Rifles snap up, pointing toward my car. "Don't shoot," I call out, keeping my voice low. The infected are always listening. "I'm alive. I'm human. Please don't shoot." 5 seconds of silence. Then the tall one says, "Come out." Slowly, hands where we can see them. A woman's voice. Calm, authoritative, the kind of voice used to being obeyed. "I'm in the back," I say. "It's a police cruiser. I'm behind the cage. I need to climb into the front to get out." "Do it." Slow. I maneuver through the gap between the cage and the front seats, harder than it sounds with stiff muscles and malnourishment. I get stuck halfway, my shirt caught on something, and have to wiggle free. Probably looks pathetic from outside. Finally, I get my hand on the driver's door handle. I pause. "I'm opening the door," I say. "I have a gun, but I'm not holding it. It's on the back seat. I'm not a threat." "Open it." I do. The door swings wide and I step out into the garage, hands raised, blinking in the glare of the Tahoe's headlights. The 2 figures resolve into actual people. The tall one is indeed a woman, maybe late 30s, with her dark hair pulled back in a tight ponytail. Military bearing, tactical vest, AR-15 held with comfortable familiarity. The shorter one is a man, younger, early 20s maybe, with a patchy beard and nervous eyes. He's gripping his rifle, looks like an M4, too tight. The woman looks me over, takes in my stained clothes, my gaunt frame, the beard I've grown in 7 weeks. Her expression doesn't change. "You alone?" she asks. "Yes." "How long?" "Since the beginning, 47 days. Her eyes flick to the cruiser, to the supplies visible through the windows, back to me. "You're living in a cop car. It's secure. The infected can't get in." Smart. She lowers her rifle slightly. Not all the way, but enough. "Anyone else in this garage?" "No, just infected upstairs. Maybe 40 of them that cycle through. They don't come down here much." The young guy speaks up. "Gina, we should clear the other levels. Make sure." "We don't have time, Felix." Gina's eyes stay on me. "What's your name?" "Derek Vance." "I'm Gina Torres. This is Felix Huang. We're with a group holed up in the warehouse district, about 3 miles west. We're on a supply run." Hope surges in my chest. A group, other survivors, a real shelter. "How many?" I ask. 19 as of this morning. 20 now if you want to come with us." "Yes." The word comes out too fast, too desperate. I clear my throat. "Yes, I want to come with you." Gina nods. "Grab your essentials. 2 minutes. We need to move before the noise attracts company." I scramble back to the cruiser, grabbing the Glock, the extra magazines, the shotgun shells, my backpack with the useless laptop, a water bottle, the sleeping bag. I'm moving on autopilot, hands shaking with adrenaline and relief. Felix is at the Tahoe, popping the rear hatch. "There's room back here," he calls. I shove my gear in next to cases of bottled water, canned goods, medical supplies. A successful run for them, looks like. "You find all this here?" I ask. "Pharmacy 2 blocks over," Gina says. She's scanning the ramps, the shadows, staying alert. "Had to clear out 6 infected, but the back room was untouched. Get in. You're riding in back with Felix." I climb into the rear seat. Felix gets in next to me. Gina takes the driver's position, starts the engine. The Tahoe rumbles to life, loud in the enclosed space. Too loud. From somewhere above, the moaning starts. The infected heard the engine. They're coming. Shit, Gina mutters. She throws the Tahoe into reverse, backing up to get a better angle on the exit ramp. The first infected appears at the top of the ramp from level 2. Business suit. His arms outstretched, mouth hanging open. He starts down toward us in that shuffling run they do. Hold on, Gina says. She guns it. The Tahoe lurches forward, tires squealing. Business suit is too slow. We blow past him, up the ramp, merging onto level 2. More of them here. At least a dozen drawn by the noise. Jogger is among them, and the kid, and others I don't recognize. They turn toward us as one, that terrible coordinated movement that isn't quite human anymore. Gina doesn't slow down. The Tahoe plows through them, bodies crunch against the reinforced bumper, bounce off the wire mesh over the windshield. One grabs onto the side mirror and gets dragged, fingers scrabbling at the window next to Felix's head. He flinches back with a yelp. Stay calm, Gina barks. She swerves hard, scraping the Tahoe against a concrete pillar. The infected on the side mirror gets crushed, drops away. We hit the ramp to ground level. Daylight ahead, brilliant and blinding. The Tahoe bursts out of the garage into the street, and I get my first good look at Riverside in 7 weeks. It's worse than I thought. The street is choked with abandoned vehicles, some burned out, others just left where they died. Bodies everywhere in various stages of decay. The infected wander through the wreckage in scattered groups, dozens of them visible in just this one block. Storefronts are smashed open. Trees are overgrown, breaking through pavement. Nature reclaiming the city fast. Smoke rises from somewhere to the east. A fire still burning after all this time, or a new one. Jesus, I whisper. Don't look, Felix says. Gets easier if you don't look. But I can't not look. This is my city. Was my city. The insurance office where I worked is visible 2 blocks north, its windows shattered, the sign hanging crooked. The coffee shop where I bought that $7 coffee on the last normal day is a burned shell. Gina navigates through the wreckage with practiced ease, weaving between cars, avoiding the largest clusters of infected. A few turn toward us, but we're moving too fast for them to pursue. They're slower than they used to be, I say. Yeah, Gina confirms. Whatever this is, it degrades them. First week they were fast, coordinated. Now they're barely functional. But there are a lot more of them. How many? In Riverside? Thousands, maybe tens of thousands. Hard to count. The number hits me like a physical blow. I'd been thinking hundreds. Thousands means the entire city. Everyone who didn't escape or hide or survive. All of them walking around, hunting for the few of us left. We pass through what used to be downtown. The municipal building looms on our right, and I can see them packed inside, pressed against every window, hundreds in that one structure alone. That's where it started, I say. In that building. Gina glances at it. We figured, highest concentration in the city. We avoid this area usually, but the pharmacy run was worth the risk. Where are we going exactly? Old industrial district by the river. Warehouse that used to do furniture manufacturing. Solid structure, defensible, water access. We've been there 5 weeks. Is it safe? Felix laughs, a bitter sound. Nowhere safe, but it's safer than most places. We turn west, following the river road. The infected thin out here. The warehouse district was mostly abandoned even before the outbreak. Old economy casualties, rusted buildings waiting for demolition that never came. Now, those same abandoned warehouses are perfect shelter. Gina slows as we approach a chain-link fence topped with razor wire. A gate stands closed, reinforced with welded metal plates. She honks the horn twice, short, sharp blasts. After a moment, the gate swings inward. A man appears, 30s, heavily armed, waving us through. Gina drives inside, and the gate closes immediately behind us. We're in a compound. The warehouse is a massive brick structure, 3 stories, with loading docks and a fenced yard. I can see fortifications, sandbags, wire, strategic barriers, solar panels on the roof, rain collection barrels. Someone's put serious thought into making this place livable. People emerge from the warehouse as we park, maybe a dozen of them, ranging from teenagers to elderly. They look wary, but not hostile. Tired. Everyone looks tired. Gina cuts the engine. "Welcome to Fort Riverside," she says. "It's not much, but it's home." I climb out of the Tahoe on shaky legs. 7 weeks in a cramped police car has left my muscles atrophied. Everything hurts. A man approaches. 50s, gray beard, leather jacket. Authority radiates from him like heat. "Who's this?" he asks Gina. "Survivor from the municipal garage, Derek Vance. He's been alone since the start." The man looks me over with shrewd eyes. "You sick? Bit?" "No, sir." "You understand the rules here? Pull your weight, follow orders, don't bring danger to the group?" "Yes, sir." He extends a hand. "Randall Pierce. I run things here insofar as anyone runs anything anymore. You're welcome to stay if you contribute. We need every able body we can get." I shake his hand. His grip is firm, calloused. "Thank you. I'll do whatever you need." "First thing you need is food and rest. You look like hell." "Kira." A woman in her 40s appears, kind face, nurse's scrubs. "Yeah, boss? Get this one fed and checked over, then find him a bunk." "On it." Kira gestures for me to follow. "Come on, honey. Let's get you sorted." I grab my gear from the Tahoe and follow her into the warehouse. The interior is dimly lit by sunlight through high windows and a few battery-powered lanterns. The space has been divided into sections with hung tarps and salvaged furniture. Living areas, storage, a communal space with mismatched chairs around a propane heater. People watch me as I pass, curious, cautious. I recognize the look, the same way I examine the infected, trying to determine threat level. Kira leads me to a corner section with a cot and a plastic storage bin. "This is you. Not fancy, but the mattress is clean, and you've got privacy." "It's perfect," I say honestly. After 7 weeks in a car, it looks like luxury. She pulls out a medical kit. "Sit. Let me check you over." I sit on the cot while she examines me. Checks my temperature, my pulse, looks me over for bites or signs of infection. She's gentle, but thorough. "You're malnourished," she says. "Dehydrated. But overall, you're in decent shape considering. No bites?" "No." "Good. Any sickness? Fever? Nausea? Confusion?" "I got sick from bad water a few times, but nothing in the last 2 weeks." She nods, making notes on a clipboard. "We'll get some calories in you, get you hydrated properly. Take it slow, though. Your stomach's probably shrunk." She produces a bottle of water and a protein bar. "Start with these. Sip. Don't chug. Nibble. Don't wolf. I'll check on you in an hour." I want to devour both immediately, but I force myself to go slow. The water tastes clean. The protein bar tastes like heaven compared to the stale ones I'd been eating. Kira watches me for a moment. "You were really alone for 7 weeks?" "Yeah." "In a police car?" "It was secure. The infected couldn't get in." "Must have been hell." "It was survival." She pats my shoulder. "Well, you're not alone now. Get some rest. Dinner's at 6. Someone will come get you." She leaves me in my little corner. I finish the water and protein bar slowly, then lie back on the cot. The mattress is thin and lumpy. It's the most comfortable thing I've felt in 2 months. I close my eyes, expecting to pass out immediately, but sleep doesn't come. I'm too wired, too aware of people moving around me, too overwhelmed by the sudden change in circumstances. 7 weeks of isolation, broken in an instant. 7 weeks of being the only living human for blocks, suddenly replaced by voices, movement, community. It's wonderful and terrifying in equal measure. I drift eventually, falling into uneasy sleep filled with dreams of the garage, of business suit pressing his face against the window, of being trapped forever in the back of Unit 23. Someone shakes me awake. I jolt upright, reaching for the Glock before I remember where I am. "Easy," a voice says. Young guy, maybe 19, with thick glasses and a nervous smile. "Dinner time. I'm supposed to bring you to the common area." I check my watch. 6:15. I've been asleep for hours. "Thanks," I manage. My voice is hoarse. I follow him through the warehouse to the common area. About 15 people are gathered around the propane heater. Food is being distributed from a central pot. Looks like soup or stew. Randall Pierce sees me and waves me over. "Derek, come eat." I'm handed a bowl of thin vegetable soup with chunks of canned meat. It smells incredible. I sit on an empty chair and eat slowly, savoring every bite. The conversation around me is casual, almost normal. Someone complaining about their bunk neighbor snoring. Someone else discussing the best way to reinforce the north fence. A couple arguing quietly about whose turn it is to take watch. It's surreal. Like the world didn't end. Like this is just a camping trip or a work retreat. But then I notice the weapons. Everyone is armed, pistols on hips, rifles within reach. Even the elderly woman knitting in the corner has a revolver in her lap. And the conversation, when I listen closer, is full of dark undertones. The snoring neighbor is discussed in terms of if he attracts them at night. The fence reinforcement is because they've been testing it more lately. The watch rotation is life and death, normal language wrapped around abnormal reality. Felix sits down next to me. "How you holding up?" "Okay, I think." Still processing. "Yeah, it's a lot. I was alone for 3 weeks before Gina found me. Took me days to adjust to being around people again." "Where were you hiding?" "Sporting goods store. Locked myself in the gun cage, had weapons but no food, and was about to starve when Gina's crew cleared the building. Lucky timing. Luck's all we got now." He takes a bite of soup. "Randall will probably put you on watch rotation tomorrow. Fair warning, it's boring as hell, but you can't zone out. They notice patterns, test for weaknesses." "The infected?" "Yeah. They're dumb but not completely mindless. They remember things, learn things. It's creepy. I think about the 40 infected in the municipal garage, their regular patterns, the way they seem to have territories and routes." "I noticed that too," I say. "In the garage. They had routines." "Exactly. Which means we have to stay unpredictable. Change guard patterns, vary our movements, never get complacent." Gina joins us, carrying her own bowl. "Stop scaring the new guy." "Felix." "I'm not scared," I say. "Just informed." She smiles slightly. "Good. Fear makes people stupid. Information keeps them alive." She sits across from us. "You did well today. Stayed calm, followed instructions. That matters here." "I just want to help. Pull my weight." "You will. We all do." She eats a spoonful of soup. "Randall will assign you tasks tomorrow. Probably start you on inventory or watch duty. Ease you in." "And what about supply runs? Can I help with those?" Gina and Felix exchange glances. "Eventually, maybe," Gina says. "Supply runs are dangerous. We only take experienced people. Give it time." I nod, trying not to feel dismissed. But she's right. I survived 7 weeks in a car. That doesn't make me qualified for active scavenging in infected territory. The meal continues. I listen more than I talk, trying to piece together the dynamics of this group. Randall is clearly in charge, but he leads through respect rather than fear. Gina is his second, handles tactical decisions. Kira manages medical and morale. Felix is the youngest in their inner circle, computer skills apparently. There are factions though, subtle tensions. A group of 4 sitting apart from the others, eating quickly and leaving without conversation. An older couple who keep to themselves. A woman who watches everyone with suspicious eyes. Survivors don't automatically equal community. They're just people thrown together by catastrophe, trying not to die. Trust has to be built. After dinner, I'm assigned to night watch with a man named Luis. He's 40s, former construction worker, arms like tree trunks. First night. You're on the easy shift, he explains as we climb to the warehouse roof. Just watch the perimeter. Anything moves, you report it. Don't shoot unless I give the order. The roof offers a view of the compound and the surrounding area. The river glints to the west, reflecting the sunset. To the east, Riverside sprawls in ruins, smoke rising from multiple locations. Luis hands me a pair of binoculars. Scan clockwise every 5 minutes. Look for movement, lights, anything unusual. What about the infected? They mostly stay in the city proper. We get strays sometimes, but not many. The real danger is other survivors. Raiders? Yeah, 3 groups we know of. They hit smaller settlements, take supplies, take people sometimes. We're too fortified for them to attack directly, but they probe our defenses. Look for weaknesses. I scan the perimeter with the binoculars. Nothing moves in the gathering dark. How many people have you lost? I ask. Luis is quiet for a moment. Since we fortified here, 5. 2 to infected bites during supply runs. 1 to raiders, got caught outside the wire. 2 to sickness. And before? More than I can count. The first weeks were a slaughter. Most of us only survived because we got lucky. Right place, right time, right decision. I hid in a maintenance closet while people died in the hallway, I say. Is that luck or cowardice? It's survival. Don't second guess it. Everyone here has moments they're not proud of, things they did or didn't do. You let that eat you up, you won't last. We watch in silence as night falls completely. The city goes dark except for scattered fires. No street lights, no house lights, no signs of functioning civilization. Just darkness and the infected somewhere out there, wandering forever. Around midnight, Luis nudges me. Movement, southeast corner. I swing the binoculars to where he's pointing. At first I see nothing. Then, there. Shapes moving along the fence line. 3 of them, shambling in that distinctive infected gait. Just strays, Luis says. They'll test the fence and move on. We watch them approach the chain link. They push against it, grab it, shake it. The fence holds. After a few minutes, they lose interest and wander off toward the river. That happen every night? Most nights. Like I said, they test things, looking for a way in. But they can't get through. Not so far. But we stay vigilant. Only takes one breach, one moment of inattention. The rest of the watch passes without incident. At 4 a.m., we're relieved by Gina and another person I haven't met yet. I stumble back to my cot and collapse. This time, I sleep deeply, dreamlessly, for the first time in weeks. I wake to sunlight and voices. The warehouse is active, people moving with purpose. I check my watch, almost noon. I slept 14 hours. Kira appears with a tray. Thought you might sleep through. Brought you breakfast. Well, lunch, I guess. Scrambled eggs from powder, toast from stale bread, weak coffee. It tastes like a feast. Randall wants to see you when you're ready, Kira says. No rush. I eat, then find a bucket shower rigged in the corner of the warehouse. Cold water, but I don't care. I wash away 7 weeks of grime and sweat. Shave with a disposable razor someone loans me. Put on clean clothes from the community supply. I look almost human again. Randall is in what passes for his office, a corner section separated by tarps, with a desk made from shipping pallets and a map of Riverside pinned to the wall. Derek, sit. He gestures to a folding chair. How you feeling? Better. Thank you for taking me in. We help each other here. That's the rule. But help goes both ways. I need to know what you can contribute. I'm not military or law enforcement. I was an insurance adjuster. But I'm in decent shape. I can follow orders. I'm willing to learn. Randall nods. We need all types. Felix was an IT guy. Now he maintains our solar system. Kira was a nurse. Now she's our doctor. You adapt or you don't make it. I understand. Good. For now, I'm putting you on inventory and watch rotation. Learn the compound, meet everyone, get your strength back. In a week or two, we'll reassess. Maybe move you to supply runs if Gina approves. I appreciate it. He leans back in his chair. One more thing. You said you were in the municipal building when it started. You see how the outbreak began? Not exactly. I was on the 3rd floor when the screaming started. By the time I understood what was happening, they were everywhere. But it started in the lower levels? The garage? I think so. The infected came up through the stairwells. Randall marked something on his map. That tracks with other reports. Multiple outbreaks started in confined spaces, parking structures, subways, basements, like it was planned. Planned? Maybe. Or maybe the infection just spreads faster in enclosed areas. We don't know enough about it. Does anyone? He laughs bitterly. The government collapsed in the first week. If there are scientists somewhere studying this, they're not sharing information. We're on our own. I spend the afternoon on inventory duty with a woman named Teresa. We're cataloging supplies in the warehouse storage area: food, water, medical equipment, weapons, ammunition. We do this weekly, Teresa explains. Track what we use, what we need, plan the next supply run accordingly. The numbers are sobering. Even with 19 people, 20 now with me, they're burning through supplies fast. Canned goods are plentiful, but fresh food is almost non-existent. Water is okay thanks to the river and rain collection, but purification tablets are running low. Ammunition is a constant concern. How long can you sustain this? I ask. 6 months maybe, if we're careful. But winter's coming, and we don't know how that'll change things. Heating, more calories needed, harder to scavenge. What about farming, growing food? We've talked about it, but that requires time, space, security we're not sure we have. Plus, none of us are farmers. Better to learn than starve. She smiles. You sound like Randall. He's been pushing the same idea. Problem is finding seeds, soil, protecting crops from infected and raiders. We work through the afternoon, checking expiration dates, rotating stock, making notes. Boring work, but important. Life now is measured in cans of beans and bottles of water. At dinner, I meet more of the group. There's Patricia, same name as the woman from accounting who died that first day, which gives me chills, who used to be a teacher. Marcus and Chen, a couple who ran a restaurant. Old Webb with his constant cough and stories about Korea. Sarah, who barely speaks but watches everything. And there's Jolene, mid-20s, red hair, brilliant green eyes, carrying a compound bow and a knife that looks like it's seen use. She sits next to me without preamble. You're the police car guy. That's me. Smart hiding spot. Better than mine. Where were you? Roof of my apartment building, 18 stories up. Figured the infected couldn't climb that high. Could they? Eventually. Took them 3 weeks, but they started making it up the stairwells. Didn't understand how until I watched closer. They pile up, climb over each other. Not smart exactly, but persistent. How'd you get out? Zip line to the next building, then the next, then down a fire escape and ran like hell until I found this place. That's insane, she grins. Yeah, probably. But it worked. Sometimes insane is all you've got. I like her immediately. There's a sharp humor in her eyes, a refusal to be broken by what's happened. We talk through dinner. She tells me about the early days, the panic, the way society dissolved in hours once people understood the infection spread through bites, how the military tried to establish quarantine zones and failed, how the evacuation orders caused more deaths than they prevented. Everyone running to the same places, she says. Highways jammed, airports overrun, hospitals swamped with the infected and the dying. Nowhere to go. Nowhere safe. How many do you think survived? In the whole country? Thousands maybe. Tens of thousands if we're lucky. Out of 300 million, she shakes her head. Worst survival rate of any catastrophe in history. You think it's everywhere? Or just here? Everywhere. Or close enough. The news before everything went dark showed outbreaks in every major city, other countries too. This wasn't localized. Biological weapon? Maybe. Or natural pandemic that just happened to be perfectly lethal. Does it matter? Results the same. She's right. The cause doesn't change the reality. The world ended, and we're left picking through the ruins. That night, I'm on watch again, this time with Jolene. We sit on the roof under a half moon, scanning the darkness. You ever think about before? She asks. Like, really think about it? Sometimes, but it hurts. Yeah, I had a life. Boyfriend, job, apartment, plans, all gone in a day. Sometimes I can't even remember what his face looked like. Trauma does that. Blocks memories to protect you. Or maybe I'm just forgetting. Maybe that's what happens. The old world fades and this becomes normal. Is that good or bad? Neither. Just is. We watch in silence. An infected appears near the south fence, one of the slow ones, barely mobile. It bumps into the chain link and stands there, swaying. That one's almost gone, Jolene observes. Another week and it'll be too degraded to move. Then what? Then it's just a corpse. The real ones, the dangerous ones, are the fresh infected. Still have coordination, speed. Those are the ones that'll kill you. How long does it take? From bite to full degradation? Depends. Turn happens fast, minutes to hours. But degradation is slower. Weeks, months maybe. We don't know the full timeline yet. So, theoretically, if we just wait long enough, they'll all break down. Maybe, if we can survive that long, and if no new infections happen. A heavy thought. Our survival strategy might just be waiting for the infected to rot away completely. Around 3 a.m., Jolene stiffens. Look, northwest. I follow her gaze. Lights, vehicle headlights moving along the river road. That's not one of ours, she says quietly. She picks up a radio. Randall, we've got movement. Vehicle approaching from northwest. The radio crackles. Copy. Don't engage. Observe and report. We watch the vehicle. Looks like a pickup truck. Slow as it nears our compound. It stops about 200 yards out. Headlights cut off. They're watching us, I whisper. Yeah, raiders probably, checking our defenses. Nothing happens for long minutes. Then the headlights come back on. The truck turns around and drives away. They do that often, I ask. Once a week, maybe. Different groups. They're sizing us up, waiting for an opening. What happens if they attack? We fight and hope we're better armed and better prepared. The thought sits uneasily. I've avoided human conflict so far, just focused on surviving the infected. But people might be the bigger threat. The rest of the watch is quiet. We're relieved at dawn by Luis and someone new, and I head down for a few hours of sleep. The days develop a rhythm. Wake, eat, work on whatever task is assigned, eat, watch duty, sleep, repeat. It's monotonous but purposeful. Better than sitting in a car waiting to die? I get to know the group better. Learn that Patricia the teacher has a daughter somewhere, maybe alive, maybe not. That Marcus and Chen lost their entire restaurant staff in the first days. That Webb's cough is getting worse and Kira is worried it might be pneumonia. Learn that the 4 people who sit apart are the Henderson family. Mother, father, 2 teenage sons. They keep to themselves because they tried to leave once, got caught by raiders, barely escaped. Now they trust no one. Learn that Sarah doesn't speak because she saw her children die. Watch the infected tear them apart. She hasn't said a word since. Everyone has trauma. Everyone has loss. The weight of it hangs over the warehouse like smoke. But there are good moments too. Someone finds a guitar and plays at night. Someone else tells jokes, terrible puns that somehow make everyone laugh. Teresa organizes a cooking night where we make a real meal from ingredients hoarded for special occasions. Small fragments of humanity in the ruins. I settle in. Start thinking of this as home instead of temporary shelter. Start planning in weeks instead of days. Then, week 3 at the compound. Everything changes again. It's early morning. I'm on inventory duty with Felix, checking ammunition stocks. We're in the storage area when we hear shouting outside. We run out to find Gina and her supply team returning. They're early, and they're carrying someone, a woman unconscious, blood soaked through her clothes. They rush her to the medical area, where Kira starts working immediately. "What happened?" Randall demands. Gina is breathing hard. "We hit the grocery store on Maple like planned. Found her in the back room. She's been shot." "By who?" "Raiders. Different group than we've seen before. They were already in the building clearing it out. We barely got away." "They follow you?" "Don't think so. But they know about this area now. It's only a matter of time." Randall curses. "Injuries on our end?" "Minor cuts, nothing serious. But we lost half the supplies when we ran." I drift closer to the medical area. Kira is cutting away the woman's shirt, exposing a gunshot wound in her shoulder. It's bad, but not immediately fatal if treated right. The woman's eyes flutter open. She's youngish, maybe 30, dark skin, thin from malnutrition. "Please," she whispers. "My son. They have my son." Kira tries to calm her. "Easy. You're safe now." "We've got you." "No, please. The Raiders. They took my boy, 8 years old. They took him." The warehouse goes silent. Everyone listening. Randall steps forward. "What's your name?" "Vanessa. Vanessa Cole. Please, you have to help him. They'll kill him or worse." "Where did they take him?" "I don't know. We were hiding in the grocery store. They found us. I fought back and they shot me. When I came to, he was gone." Gina speaks up. "We didn't see a kid. Just bodies in the front of the store. Dead infected." "How long ago?" Randall asks. "Maybe 2 hours." He exchanges looks with Gina. Trail's still warm. "Could be a trap," Gina warns. "They could be using the kid as bait, expecting someone to come after him." "Or they could actually have an 8-year-old prisoner," Jolene says from the crowd. "We just gonna leave him?" Randall runs his hand through his beard. "This is a tactical decision. We're not equipped for a rescue op against unknown hostiles." "So, we do nothing?" Jolene's voice is sharp. "Let a kid die?" "I didn't say that." "What are you saying then?" "I'm saying we think before we act. Get information, plan, not run off on emotion." Vanessa grabs his arm with bloody fingers. "Please, he's all I have left. His name is Anthony. He's 8. Please." The warehouse erupts in argument. Some people agreeing with Randall that it's too risky. Others siding with Jolene that they can't abandon a child. The Henderson family arguing this proves they should leave, find somewhere safer. Felix suggesting they scout first, get eyes on the situation before deciding. I stand there listening, feeling useless. I've been here 3 weeks. I don't have standing to weigh in on major decisions. But then, I think about the kid, 8 years old, in the hands of raiders who shot his mother. "I'll go," I say. Everyone looks at me. "I'll go," I repeat. "I can scout. See if we can find where they took him. Get information without committing to a fight." "You're not trained for recon," Gina says. "No. But I survived 7 weeks alone. I know how to move quiet, stay hidden, and I'm expendable. If something happens to me, the group loses its newest, least experienced member, not a critical asset." Randall studies me. "You understand what you're volunteering for? You could get killed, or bit, or captured." "I understand, but we need information to make a good decision. Let me get it." He looks at Gina. She shrugs. He's not wrong. We need intel. "And if he's willing?" "Fine," Randall says. "But not alone. Jolene goes with you. She's got tracking experience." Jolene grins. Hell yes. You leave in 30 minutes. Light gear, weapons, radio. Scout only. Do not engage. Find the kid if you can. Mark the location, report back. Clear? Clear, Jolene and I say together. The next 30 minutes pass in a blur. Gina outfits us with light tactical vests, radios, water. I take the Glock and extra magazines. Jolene has her compound bow and a pistol. Felix gives us a handheld GPS device. Grocery store's here, he shows us on a map. Based on what Gina described, the raiders came from the east. There's an old strip mall that direction, abandoned mechanics garage, residential area. Good places to hold up. We'll check them systematically, Jolene says. Stay in radio contact. Kira pulls me aside. You don't have to do this. I know. So why? Because hiding in that police car for 7 weeks, I made a promise to myself. If I ever got the chance to help someone, actually make a difference, I'd take it. This is that chance. She squeezes my shoulder. Be careful. Come back. Gina drives us in the Tahoe to within a half-mile of the grocery store. Then we proceed on foot. The streets are eerily quiet. A few infected wandering in the distance, but none close. The grocery store is a gutted shell. Shelves toppled, products scattered, windows smashed. Bodies of infected that were cleared out lie in heaps near the entrance. This is recent, Jolene whispers, examining the bodies. Still fresh. We move inside carefully. The store smells like rot and copper. Blood trails lead deeper inside. We follow them to the back room where Gina's team found Vanessa. More blood here. Shell casings from the gunfight, signs of struggle. Jolene kneels, studying the floor. 3, maybe 4 hostiles. Heavy boots. 1 set smaller. Could be the kid being dragged. You can tell that from footprints. Grew up hunting with my dad. You learn to track. We exit through the back door into an alley. The footprints continue east, just like Felix predicted. We follow at a distance, staying low, using cars and debris for cover. The trail leads through 2 blocks of residential area, then cuts toward the old strip mall. Jackpot. The strip mall has vehicles parked outside. A van, 2 trucks, motorcycles, and guards, actual armed guards watching the perimeter. Raiders, Jolene breathes. At least a dozen that I can see. We hunker behind a dumpster, watching. The guards are casual but alert. They've got rifles, shotguns, pistols, professional equipment. Radio it in, I say. Jolene keys her radio. Gina, we've got eyes on the strip mall east of the grocery. Multiple hostiles, heavily armed. Maybe 15 to 20 total. Gina's voice crackles back. Copy. Do you see the kid? Negative. Going to try and get closer. Negative. Fall back. That's an order. Jolene looks at me. I shake my head. We came this far. Let's at least confirm he's there before we leave. Randall's going to be pissed. Probably. We circle the strip mall, staying in cover. The back has loading docks, most closed. But one is open, and I can hear voices inside. We creep closer, press against the wall. Listen. Worth the trouble? Male voice, gruff. Woman fought back, made it personal. Different voice, younger. Still, kid's just dead weight. We should dump him. Boss said keep him. Leverage maybe, or trade. Someone might pay. My blood runs cold. They're talking about Anthony like cargo. Jolene puts her hand on my arm, warning. But I lean around the corner, just enough to see inside. The loading dock opens into a storage area. Boxes, supplies, weapons stacked everywhere. And in the corner, tied to a support beam, is a small figure. The kid has to be. Brown hair, small frame, head down. I pull back. He's there, I whisper to Jolene. Tied up in the back corner. Can we get to him? Not without alerting everyone. There's too many of them. So what do we do? Before I can answer, someone shouts behind us. Hey! Who the hell are you? We spin. One of the guards, must have been making rounds, stands 15 feet away with his rifle coming up. Run! Jolene yells. We sprint. The guard fires. The shot goes wide, but now everyone knows we're here. Shouts erupt from the strip mall. More gunfire. Bullets whip past us as we dodge between abandoned cars. Jolene is faster than me. She gets ahead, turns, fires her pistol back at our pursuers. Keep moving! I risk a glance back. 4 raiders chasing us, maybe more coming. We're outgunned and outnumbered. This way! Jolene ducks into an alley. I follow. We vault a fence, cut through a yard overgrown with weeds, emerge on a parallel street. The pursuit continues. They're not giving up. And they're coordinated, trying to cut us off. We round a corner and run straight into infected. 5 of them. Fresh ones, fast. They turn toward us, mouths opening. Shit! Jolene skids to a stop. We're trapped between raiders behind and infected ahead. I make a split-second decision. Through them! We charge the infected. I fire the Glock, dropping 1. Jolene puts an arrow through another's eye. The remaining 3 swarm us. I duck under grasping hands, pistol whip 1 across the face. Jolene's knife flashes, cutting throats. We break through and keep running as the raiders behind us crash into the same infected. Gunfire and screams. The raiders are dealing with the infected now, buying us time. We run 3 more blocks before stopping, gasping for air. That was insane, Jolene pants. Did it work? We're alive, aren't we? I check behind us. No pursuit. The raiders must have gotten bogged down or decided we weren't worth chasing. Jolene radios in. Gina, we're clear. Heading back. What the hell happened? We heard gunfire. Got spotted. Had to run, but we confirmed the kid is there. He's alive. Silence on the radio. Then Randall's voice. Get back here now! The trip back is tense. Every shadow could be raiders. Every sound could be infected. But we make it to the rendezvous point where Gina picks us up. She drives without speaking, jaw tight. When we get back to the compound, Randall is waiting. My office, both of you. We follow him into his corner area. He rounds on us. I said scout and report, not engage. We got spotted, I say. We didn't have a choice. You had a choice, follow orders or improvise. You chose wrong. But we confirmed the kid is there, Jolene argues. That's what you needed to know. At what cost? Now they know someone's watching them. They'll be on alert. Any rescue attempt just got 10 times harder. So, we're doing a rescue? I ask. Randall glares at me. I haven't decided. What I've decided is, you two don't go off book again. Understood? Understood, Jolene mutters. Derek? Yes, sir. Understood. Good. Now get out. I need to think. We leave the office. Jolene pulls me aside. Don't let him get to you. He's pissed, but he'll come around. Will he actually try to rescue Anthony? I don't know. Randall's practical. He weighs risk versus reward. A kid's life versus potentially losing people in a fight? That's not an easy call. It should be. In the old world, yeah. But we're not in the old world anymore. That night, I can't sleep. I keep thinking about Anthony, 8 years old, tied up in that storage room. Scared, alone, wondering if anyone's coming for him. I think about the closet I hid in on day 1, the sounds of people dying outside, how no one came for them. Around 2 a.m., I make a decision. I get up, gear up quietly, grab weapons. Jolene intercepts me at the door. Where you going? To get the kid. Alone? That's suicide. Maybe, but I can't sit here doing nothing. She studies me for a long moment. Then, she grabs her bow. Okay, I'm coming. Jolene, shut up, you're not doing this alone. We slip out through a side door, avoid the guards on watch. It's easy. I've been learning the patrol patterns. We take one of the old motorcycles parked in the back, quieter than the Tahoe, more maneuverable. Jolene drives. I hold on as we speed through the dark streets toward the strip mall. We need a plan, she says over the engine noise. Create a distraction on one side, sneak in the other, get the kid, get out. That's not a plan. That's a wish list. You got better ideas? Not really. We park the bike a block away and approach on foot. The strip mall is quieter at night. Fewer guards visible. Lights on in only some sections. They're sleeping, Jolene observes. Skeleton crew on watch. That works for us. We circle to the north side. I spot a propane tank, the kind used for outdoor grills. I shoot it with the Glock. The explosion is massive, way bigger than I expected. It tears through the front of the strip mall, sending debris flying. Flames shoot up. Holy shit, Jolene breathes. The raiders pour out, shouting, trying to fight the fire. We use the chaos to slip in the back, through the loading dock we'd seen before. The storage area is less guarded now. One guy, half asleep. Jolene puts an arrow through his throat before he can shout. Anthony is still tied to the support beam. His eyes go wide when he sees us. Shh, I whisper, cutting his bonds. We're here to help. Your mom sent us. Mom? His voice is hoarse. She's safe. Come on. We get him up. He's weak, dehydrated, but he can walk. We start toward the exit. Then someone shouts, "They're in here!" 4 raiders in the doorway, guns up. Jolene and I return fire. Drop 2, wound a 3rd. The 4th ducks into cover. Go! Jolene yells. She provides covering fire while I drag Anthony toward a side door. More raiders are coming. The whole place is swarming now. We're not going to shoot our way out. I spot a truck in the loading area. Keys in the ignition. There! We pile in. I start the engine, throw it in reverse, smash through the garage door. Bullets punch through the windshield. I floor it, weaving through the parking lot. Jolene is in the back with Anthony, firing out the rear window. The bike we came on is gone, probably destroyed in the explosion. The truck is our only way out. I take a corner too fast, nearly roll it. More gunfire. The side mirror shatters. Anthony is crying, covering his ears. Hold on, I scream. I drive like a madman through Riverside. The raiders pursue in 2 vehicles. We play a deadly game of cat and mouse through the ruins. Jolene keeps firing, taking out their tires when she can, but we're running low on ammunition. Then I see them ahead, infected, a huge cluster, maybe 50 of them, drawn by the noise, blocking the street. Brace! I plow into them. Bodies crunch under the truck. The windshield caves in. Anthony screams. We burst through the other side, covered in gore. The raiders aren't so lucky. They hit the infected cluster at full speed and get mobbed. I see them in the rear view trying to shoot their way out, getting overwhelmed. We don't stop until we're back at the compound. The gate opens and we roar inside. I kill the engine and slump over the wheels, shaking. Randall storms out. What the hell did you... Then he sees Anthony. The boy is wrapped in Jolene's arms, sobbing. Covered in blood, but alive. Randall's expression shifts. Is he bit? No, Jolene says. The blood is from infected. We went through them. Kira rushes over, takes Anthony, starts checking him over. Randall looks at me. You directly disobeyed orders. Yes, sir. Could have gotten yourself killed. Gotten Jolene killed. Yes, sir. Probably started a war with those raiders. Probably. He stares at me for a long moment. Then he starts laughing. Deep, genuine laughter. You're either the bravest or dumbest son of a bitch I've ever met. Little of both, sir. He claps my shoulder. Get cleaned up. We'll debrief in the morning. Kira confirms Anthony isn't bit, just scared and dehydrated. She takes him to the medical area where Vanessa is recovering. The reunion between mother and son makes everyone cry. I wash off the infected blood, burning the ruined clothes. Jolene finds me afterward. Hell of a first mission, she says. Was it worth it? We might have endangered everyone here. Kid's alive. His mom's alive. Yeah, it was worth it. Even if the raiders come for revenge, then we fight. That's what we do now. We fight for the people who matter. I want to believe her. Want to believe we did the right thing. But as I lie in my cot that night, I can't shake the fear. The raiders know about us now. They know we're willing to fight. And they'll be back. Morning brings a harsh reality check. Randall calls everyone together. Last night's raid changes things, he says. We're no longer flying under the radar. The raider group Derek and Jolene hit will want payback. We need to prepare for an attack. How long do we have? Luis asks. Could be days, could be weeks. They'll need to regroup, plan. But it's coming. Can we negotiate? Marcus suggests. With raiders? Unlikely. They see us as competition for resources. Or as resources themselves. Then we leave, one of the Hendersons says. Find somewhere else. And go where? Everywhere has the same problems. At least here we're fortified. The debate rages. Some want to stay and fight, others want to relocate. A few suggest trying to make peace with the raiders. Eventually, Randall makes the call. We stay. We strengthen our defenses, and we prepare for the worst. The next week is frantic activity. We reinforce the fence with scrap metal and barbed wire, build firing positions on the warehouse roof, stockpile ammunition, set up early warning systems with tripwires and bells. Felix rigs up motion sensors using parts salvaged from old security systems. Gina trains everyone in basic combat tactics. Even the elderly and the children learn how to load magazines and spot threats. I'm assigned to perimeter patrols with Luis. We walk the fence line twice a day, checking for weaknesses, watching for scouts. On day 5, we find signs someone's been watching us. Footprints in the mud near the north fence. Cigarette butts. Fresh. They're casing the place, Luis says, figuring out our patterns, our numbers. When will they attack? Soon. They're building courage, planning their approach. That night, I'm on watch with Gina. She's tense, scanning constantly with binoculars. You regret it? She asks. Going after the kid? No, but I regret putting everyone in danger. Danger was always here. You just made it immediate instead of theoretical. That's not comforting. It's not meant to be. But Derek, what you did took guts. Stupid guts, but guts. And that kid is alive because of it. Don't second guess that. Around 3 a.m., the motion sensors go off. South side. Contact, Gina radios. South fence, everyone up. The compound erupts into controlled chaos. People grab weapons, move to assigned positions. I run to the south wall with my Glock. Nothing visible yet. Just darkness and the sensor alarm wailing. Then, I see them. Shadows moving beyond the fence. Too coordinated to be infected. Raiders, someone shouts. Gunfire erupts. Muzzle flashes in the dark. Bullets slam into the warehouse walls, the sandbags, the fence. We return fire. The night lights up with tracer rounds and explosions. I aim at a shadow, squeeze off 2 shots. It drops. Can't tell if I hit them or if they took cover. The attack is fierce but disorganized. They're testing us, probing defenses. After 10 minutes, they pull back. Hold fire, Randall orders. Conserve ammunition. We wait in tense silence. The compound is shot up but standing, no breaches in the fence. Casualty report, Randall calls. Kira moves through, checking everyone. Webb took a round in the leg, not critical. Few minor cuts from shrapnel. We got lucky. They'll be back, Gina says. That was just a probe. She's right. Over the next 3 days, the raiders hit us 5 more times. Different approaches, different tactics, trying to find our weak point. We hold them off each time, but the cost is mounting. Ammunition running low, people exhausted from constant alert. Webb's leg getting infected despite Kira's efforts. On the 4th day, during a lull, Randall makes an announcement. We can't sustain this. They're bleeding us dry. We need to take the fight to them. You mean attack their base? Felix asks. Exactly. Hit them where they live, destroy their supplies, kill their leadership, end the threat. That's suicide, Patricia says. Maybe. Or maybe it's our only chance. They expect us to defend, not strike back. How many do we send? Gina asks. Small team, fast and lethal. 10 people max. I'm in, I say immediately. Jolene raises her hand. Me too. Others volunteer. Gina, Luis, Felix, surprisingly, Marcus, 2 of the Henderson sons, Patricia. Randall nods. We leave tomorrow night. Hit them at dawn when they're least alert. Make it hurt. The next day is spent in preparation. Checking weapons, loading magazines, reviewing the plan. Felix has been mapping the strip mall using drone footage. He rigged up a small quadcopter with a camera. We know the layout, the guard positions, the weak points. The plan is brutal in its simplicity. Explosives at key structural points, sniper fire to pin them down, then sweep through and eliminate anyone who fights back. Kira pulls me aside before we leave. You don't have to do this. You're still new, still learning. I started this when I rescued Anthony. I should finish it. Just come back alive, okay? We've lost enough people. I'll do my best. That evening, our strike team loads into 2 vehicles, the Tahoe and a pickup we've armored with scrap metal. We drive through the dark toward the strip mall, lights off, moving slow. We park a block away and advance on foot. Felix has given us each a radio and an earpiece. Gina coordinates. Team 1, north entrance. Team 2, south. Team 3, you're on overwatch with the sniper rifle. Everyone clear? Confirmations all around. I'm on Team 2 with Jolene and Marcus. We creep to the south side, carrying bags of explosives Felix made from fertilizer and fuel. The strip mall is quiet. Few lights. Most of the raiders are sleeping after their latest attack on our compound. We plant the charges at structural supports along load-bearing walls. I'm shaking as I set the timer. 5 minutes. Enough time to get clear. Charges set, I whisper into the radio. Copy, Gina responds. Team 1 set. Team 3, you in position? Affirmative. I have eyes on the main entrance. On my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark. We run. Sprint away from the strip mall as fast as we can. Behind us, the explosives detonate in sequence. The noise is incredible. The strip mall collapses in on itself, walls crumbling, roof caving in. Raiders stumble out of the wreckage, coughing, bleeding, disoriented. The sniper starts picking them off, precise shots dropping them one by one. Those who make it out run into our gunfire. We're positioned in cover, shooting fish in a barrel. It's not a battle, it's an execution. I fire the Glock until the slide locks back empty. Reload. Fire again. The raiders try to fight back, but they're scattered, leaderless, panicking. 10 minutes, and it's over. The strip mall is rubble, bodies everywhere. The few raiders who escaped fled into the city. Cease fire, Gina orders. Secure the area. We move through the wreckage carefully. Finish off the wounded, brutal but necessary. Take their weapons, their ammunition, their supplies. In what's left of the storage area, we find their stockpile: food, water, medical supplies, weapons, months' worth of resources. Jackpot, Luis breathes. We load everything we can carry into the vehicles. The rest we destroy. Can't let any surviving raiders regroup. As we're leaving, I spot movement in the rubble. A hand reaching up covered in dust. I approach carefully. It's one of the raiders trapped under a beam. Young guy, maybe 25, blood running from his mouth. Please, he gasps. Help me! I stare at him. This person was shooting at us yesterday. Would have killed me without hesitation. But right now he's just a dying man begging for help. I raise the Glock. Don't, Jolene says behind me. Let him go. He's done. He'll turn, I say. If he dies here, he becomes infected. Better to end it. She doesn't argue. I pull the trigger. One shot. Clean. We drive back to the compound as the sun rises, exhausted, blood-spattered, but victorious. The celebration is muted. We won, we survived, but the cost is heavy. We killed maybe 30 people, human beings, even if they were raiders. Randall gathers everyone. What we did tonight was necessary. Those people would have killed us given the chance. But don't celebrate it. Don't become what they were. What were they? Patricia asks quietly. Desperate, just like us. We just got desperate first. The next week is recovery. We fortify the compound with the new supplies, treat the wounded, mourn Webb, who died from his infection before Kira could save him. Anthony is integrating into the group. The kid is resilient, already helping with small tasks. Vanessa is healing, talking about wanting to contribute once she's strong enough. I find moments with Jolene. We sit on the roof during our watch shifts, not talking much, just being. "You did good," she says one night. "In the strip mall. I know it wasn't easy. I killed a lot of people. You survived. That's what matters." Is it? At what point does survival become just murder with extra steps? When you stop asking that question, as long as you're wrestling with it, you're still human. I want to believe her. Days pass, then weeks. We settle into a new normal. The raider threat is gone. The survivors scattered, no longer a cohesive force. The infected are the main concern now, and they're getting slower, more degraded. Gina starts leading longer supply runs. We hit a department store, a hardware supply, even a gun shop. Each run brings back resources that extend our survival timeline. Felix gets the solar panels optimized, giving us reliable power. We set up a water purification system using the river. Start a small garden on the warehouse roof, experimental, but it's growing. 1 month after the raid, Randall calls me into his office. "You've proven yourself," he says. "You're not the scared insurance guy who showed up here anymore." "I'm still scared," I admit, "every day." "Good. Fear keeps you sharp, but you act despite it. That's rare." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying you're not on probation anymore. You're a full member of this group, which means I need you to step up." "Step up how?" "Gina's proposing we expand, find other survivors, bring them here if they're trustworthy, build something bigger than just survival, maybe a real community." "You agree with that?" "I don't know. But I trust Gina's instincts, and she wants you on the recruitment team." "Why me?" "Because you've been on both sides. You know what it's like to be alone and desperate. You'll recognize real survivors versus threats." I think about it, leaving the compound regularly, facing the infected and worse, trying to convince strangers to join us. "Okay," I say. "I'll do it." "Good. You start next week. Gina will brief you." I leave his office feeling both honored and terrified. This is a new phase, not just surviving, but actively trying to rebuild. The first recruitment run is me, Gina, and Jolene. We drive to the suburbs north of Riverside, areas we haven't explored yet. The neighborhoods are tomb quiet. Houses stand empty, doors open, signs of hasty evacuation. Infected wander occasionally, but in small numbers. We clear houses methodically, looking for survivors or useful supplies. Most places are gutted already. Then, we find her. An elderly woman barricaded in a second-floor bedroom. She has a shotgun pointed at us when we breach the door. "Don't move," she shouts. "Easy," Gina says calmly. "We're not infected. We're survivors, like you. Prove it. Can't prove a negative, but we can help you. Get you somewhere safe with food and water." The woman studies us. She's thin, weak, probably hasn't eaten in days, but her eyes are sharp. "How many of you?" 23 at our compound. Fortified warehouse, sustainable resources. We're building a community." "Why would you help me?" "Because that's what we do. We help people who can help themselves." After a long moment, she lowers the shotgun. "My name is Dorothy, and I'll come with you. But if this is a trap, I'm taking one of you with me." "Fair enough," Gina says. We get Dorothy back to the compound. Kira checks her over. Malnutrition, dehydration, but otherwise healthy for her age. She integrates quickly. Turns out Dorothy was a librarian before. She starts organizing our salvage books, teaching the younger survivors to read and write, giving them education in the ruins. Over the next months, we find 6 more survivors, each one vetted carefully, each one bringing skills or knowledge. a mechanic who keeps our vehicles running, a former cop who trains people in firearms, a botanist who revolutionizes our rooftop garden. The compound grows, not just in numbers, but in capability. We're not just surviving anymore. We're living. I mark my 6th month at the compound by carving a notch in the warehouse wall. Jolene finds me doing it. Keeping count? She asks. Seems important to remember time passing. You think we'll still be here in another 6 months? I think we'll be here, or we'll be dead. Not much middle ground. She laughs, always so optimistic. I learned from the best. We sit on the roof, watching the sunset paint Riverside in gold and red. Smoke still rises from distant fires. Infected still wander the streets. But there's beauty too. Nature reclaiming the city. Green breaking through concrete. You ever think about what comes after? Jolene asks. After what? After surviving. After the infected are gone or degraded to nothing. What then? I don't know. Rebuild, I guess. Try to make something like what was before. Would you want that? The old world back? Parts of it. The parts where kids didn't get kidnapped by raiders and people didn't turn into monsters. But also the parts where we were isolated and alone and didn't know our neighbors. I think about that. Maybe something in between. The community we have now, but with less death and horror. That's a nice dream. Is that all it is? For now, yeah. But dreams are how you start building reality. Winter comes harsh, the temperatures drop, and heating becomes a constant concern. We burn scavenged wood and propane, but supplies are limited. The infected slow down even more in the cold. Some freeze entirely, becoming statues of ice and rot. We lose 2 people to pneumonia despite Kira's best efforts. The cold is as much an enemy as anything else. But we adapt. We insulate the warehouse with salvaged materials. We share body heat, bundle together during the worst nights. We survive. Spring comes as a shock. Suddenly, everything is growing. The rooftop garden explodes with vegetables. The infected, freed from winter paralysis, become active again. We face a new challenge, a horde. Not the scattered individuals we're used to, but a coordinated mass of infected moving through Riverside. Hundreds of them, maybe thousands, following some unknown pattern or instinct. They flow past our compound like a river. We go silent, lights off, no movement. For 3 days we hide while they pass. On the 4th day, they're gone, moved on to somewhere else. We emerge like survivors of a siege. Where did they go? Felix wonders. Does it matter? Gina replies. They're not here. But it does matter. Because if the infected are capable of coordinating even unconsciously, that changes everything. Randall calls a meeting. We need to understand what we're facing. The infected are degrading but also changing, becoming something else. What do you propose? Luis asks. Observation, study. Felix, can you deploy cameras, track movement patterns? I can try. But getting close enough to the horde is risky. Then we do it from distance. Drones, telescopes, whatever works. Over the following weeks, Felix sets up a monitoring system. Cameras hidden throughout Riverside, tracking infected movement. What we learn is disturbing. The infected are clustering, forming groups based on some unknown criteria. The fresh ones separate from the degraded ones. They're creating a hierarchy. It's like they're organizing, Felix says, showing us the footage. Zombies don't organize, Patricia argues. These do, or they're learning to. The question is why? Nobody has an answer. We just add it to the list of things that can kill us. Month 9 brings another change. A radio broadcast. Felix picks it up on one of his scavenged receivers, a woman's voice repeating coordinates and an invitation. Safe zone established, government remnant. Coordinates as follows: food, shelter, security, all survivors welcome. It could be real, Jolene says. Could be a trap, Gina counters. Randall considers. We need to investigate, but carefully. He sends a scouting team, Gina, Luis, me, and 2 others. We drive toward the coordinates, about 80 miles north. The journey takes 2 days. Roads are blocked, infected roam, bridges are out. But we push through. The coordinates lead to a military base, and it's real. Walls, guards, actual living people, hundreds of them. We're stopped at the gate by soldiers, actual military personnel, armed and organized. State your business, the guard says. We heard the broadcast. We're from Riverside. We want to see if this is legitimate. They take our weapons, temporarily they assure us, and escort us inside. The base is a functioning community. Barracks converted to housing, mess hall serving meals, medical facility, even children playing in a courtyard. A colonel meets with us. Colonel Raymond, 50s, stern but fair-seeming. Welcome to Fort Redemption, he says. We've been gathering survivors for 4 months, currently housing 300 people. How? Gina asks. How did you survive when everything else fell apart? We were remote, well-supplied, and we acted fast. Quarantined immediately, established protocols. By the time the infection spread nationally, we were already secure. And now you're opening up to outsiders? We have room, resources, and a mission. Rebuild civilization, preserve humanity. We need people willing to work toward that. It sounds too good to be true. I wait for the catch. What's the cost? I ask. Raymond smiles slightly. Smart question. The cost is integration. You follow our rules, contribute to the community, accept military authority. In exchange, you get safety, food, medical care. And if we don't want to integrate, then you're free to leave. We don't force anyone. But the offer stands. We're given a tour. The base is impressive. They have power generation, water treatment, farms, workshops. They're not just surviving, they're thriving. But there's something off. The people seem happy, but there's a uniformity to them. Everyone dresses similarly, speaks carefully, avoids certain topics. I pull Gina aside. This feels wrong. Yeah, too organized, too perfect. You think it's a cult? Or worse, military dictatorship maybe, hard to tell. We complete the tour and tell Raymond we need to discuss with our group before deciding. Of course, he says. Take your time. The offer remains open. We drive back to Riverside. The whole way we debate what we saw. It could be our best chance, Luis argues. Real security, real resources. At the cost of our freedom, Gina counters. I don't trust it. Do we have to trust it? One of the others asks. Can't we just use them? Get what we need and maintain distance? That's not how it works, I say. People like Raymond don't accept half measures. You're in or you're out. We return and report to Randall. He listens carefully. My instinct is to refuse, he says. We've built something here. Our own community, our own rules. I don't want to surrender that to military authority. But think of the resources, Patricia says. The medical care. The children could grow up safe. Safe in a gilded cage, Jolene mutters. The debate rages for days. The compound splits into factions, those who want the security Fort Redemption offers, those who value our independence. Eventually, Randall makes the call. We stay independent, but we'll maintain contact with Fort Redemption, trade maybe, information sharing. But we don't integrate. Some people are unhappy with the decision. 3 families, 9 people total, decide to leave and join Fort Redemption. We watch them go with mixed feelings. Are we condemning them? Or are they abandoning us? Only time will tell. The compound feels emptier with 9 people gone. But those who remain seem more committed. We're choosing this life, this struggle, because it's ours. Month 10 brings a discovery. Felix, exploring the sewers for water routes, finds a bunker. Pre-outbreak construction stocked with supplies, food for years, water filtration systems, medical supplies, even weapons and ammunition. This changes everything, Randall says. We can fortify further, expand operations. But getting the supplies out is dangerous. The bunker is in a section of Riverside thick with infected. We'll need multiple runs, heavy security. Over 2 weeks, we mount an operation. Teams moving supplies from the bunker to the compound in waves. It's exhausting, nerve-wracking work. I'm on the 3rd run when things go wrong. We're loading the truck when infected appear. Not just a few, a swarm drawn by the noise, fresh ones, fast and coordinated. "Move!" Gina shouts. We pile into the truck, but they're on us before we can drive. Hands pounding on the doors, fingers scrabbling at windows. Luis guns the engine. We plow through them, but more keep coming. It's like they're appearing from everywhere. "There's too many!" Felix yells. One breaks through the passenger window. Jolene puts an arrow through its eye, but 2 more push through. I empty the Glock into them. The truck swerves wildly as Luis tries to drive and fight simultaneously. We break free of the main swarm, but one infected is clinging to the roof. It punches through the thin metal, grabbing at whoever it can reach. I climb halfway out the window, get a grip on it. Pull. It comes loose and tumbles onto the road. We don't stop to see if it gets up. We make it back to the compound. The truck is trashed, 2 windows smashed, 1 tire flat. But we're alive. Kira checks everyone. Scratches, bruises, near misses, but no bites. "We were lucky," she says. "Luck runs out," I reply. Randall calls off further bunker runs. Too dangerous for the remaining supplies. We got maybe 60% of what was there. It's enough. We restock, reinforce, prepare for another winter. But that night, lying in my cot, I realized something. A year ago, I was hiding in a police car, slowly starving, convinced I'd die alone. Now, I'm part of a community. I have purpose, friends, something to fight for. The apocalypse destroyed the world, but maybe, in the ruins, we're building something better. Jolene finds me on the roof during my watch shift. She's become a constant in my life, though neither of us has put words to what that means. "Penny for your thoughts," she says. Thinking about before, about who I was. And I was alone even before the outbreak. Insurance job, no family, few friends. Just existing, not living. And now I'm still alone in some ways. But I'm also part of something. Does that make sense? Perfect sense. She sits next to me. I was the same. Had people around, but no real connection. Now I have actual relationships. It's terrifying. Because you could lose it? Because I already have something worth losing. We sit in comfortable silence, watching the stars. They're brighter now without light pollution. The only good thing about the apocalypse. Month 11 brings visitors. A small group, 5 people, approaches the compound. They're ragged, desperate, but not threatening. We bring them in, cautious but hopeful. More survivors means more strength. Their leader is a man named Thompson. 40s, quiet intensity, military bearing. He tells us they've been wandering since their settlement was overrun. "Where were you?" Randall asks. 20 miles south, farmhouse and barn, good defenses, but raiders hit us hard, killed most of our group. We barely escaped. "How many raiders?" 15, maybe 20. They had trucks, heavy weapons. Professional operation. Gina and I exchange looks. Different group than the ones we hit, but similar tactics. "You're welcome to stay," Randall says. "Same rules as everyone. Contribute, follow orders, don't endanger the group." Thompson and his people integrate well. They bring farming knowledge, useful since our rooftop garden needs expansion. Thompson himself is handy with fortifications, suggests improvements to our defenses. But something feels off. I can't place it, just an instinct. I mention it to Jolene. Am I paranoid or is Thompson strange? Strange how? Too helpful, too perfect. He always has the right skill for whatever we need. Maybe we just got lucky. Maybe. But I start watching him, and I notice things. Thompson asking detailed questions about our supplies, our numbers, our patrol patterns. Writing things down in a small notebook. On night, I follow him when he slips out of the warehouse. He goes to the fence, pulls out a radio, speaks in low tones. I can't hear the words, but the intent is clear. He's reporting to someone. I go straight to Randall. Thompson's a spy. He's radioing someone about our compound. You're sure? I saw him, just now. Randall's face goes hard. Get Gina and Luis, quietly. Within minutes, we have Thompson surrounded in his bunk area. He doesn't resist when we search his gear. We find the radio, maps marking our compound, notes detailing our defenses, supply counts, patrol schedules. Who are you working for? Randall demands. Thompson stays silent. Answer me. Still nothing. Gina leans in. The 4 people you came with, are they part of this? Thompson glances at them, a tell. They are. Secure them, Randall orders. We round up Thompson's whole group. They're tied up, separated, questioned individually. Eventually one breaks. A woman named Lisa, crying, apologetic. There's a group, she says. Bigger than you. They call themselves the Remnant. They've been consolidating smaller settlements, taking their resources. Thompson scouts for them. How many in this Remnant? I don't know. Hundreds, maybe. They have vehicles, weapons, organization. And they're coming for us. Not yet. Thompson was supposed to gather intel first, but now that he's caught, she trails off. The implication is clear. When Thompson doesn't report back, they'll investigate. Randall makes a decision. We interrogate Thompson properly, find out everything about the Remnant. Then we prepare for war. The interrogation is ugly. I don't participate, can't stomach it. But Gina gets information. The Remnant is indeed large, over 300 people. They're led by someone called the Director. They've taken over the eastern part of Riverside, establishing an authoritarian settlement. They raid smaller groups, either absorbing them or destroying them. And they knew about us. We're planning to hit us within the month. We have 3 options, Randall tells the group. Run, surrender, or fight. Where would we run to? Patricia asks. Fort Redemption, maybe? Or scatter into the wilderness? I'm not running, Jolene says. This is our home. Surrender isn't an option, Gina adds. The Remnant doesn't negotiate. They conquer. Then we fight, Luis says. Make them bleed for every inch. The vote is unanimous. We fight. The next 2 weeks are preparation. We send scouts to map the Remnant's territory. Felix drones capture images of their fortifications. They've taken over several city blocks, turned them into a fortress. We count at least 200 fighters, heavily armed. Against our 26 people, including children and elderly, the math is brutal. We can't win a straight fight, Gina says during strategy session. We need advantages, surprise, terrain, tactics. Guerrilla warfare, I suggest. Hit and run. Bleed them over time instead of direct confrontation. That could work. Make them commit resources chasing us, wear them down. We plan raids, target their supply lines, their patrols, make them paranoid and reactive. The first raid is me, Jolene, Felix, and 2 others. We hit a Remnant supply convoy on the outskirts, 3 trucks carrying food and ammunition. We use IEDs Felix made, planted along their route. The first truck hits one and explodes. The convoy stops. We open fire from concealment. It's over in 2 minutes. We kill 6 Remnant fighters, wound several more, burn the trucks. Then we vanish before reinforcements arrive. The second raid targets a patrol. We ambush them in a choke point, use Molotov cocktails and gunfire. 4 dead, 2 wounded. We take their weapons and disappear. The Remnant responds with aggression. They send teams looking for us, but we know Riverside better. We use the sewers, abandoned buildings, rooftops. Stay 1 step ahead. After a week of raids, we've killed maybe 20 Remnant fighters and destroyed significant supplies. But we've also lost one person, caught during retreat and executed. The remnant leaves his body in the street with a sign. This is what happens to terrorists. It hardens our resolve. Randall plans a major strike. We hit their headquarters, decapitate the leadership. Without the director, the remnant might collapse. That's a suicide mission, Gina says. Maybe. But if we keep doing small raids, they'll eventually find our compound. Better to go big, end this. How do we even get close? Their headquarters is fortified. We don't get close. Felix, can you make a drone carry explosives? Felix thinks. Yeah, a bigger drone, controlled remotely. Could deliver maybe 10 pounds of payload. 10 pounds of C4 in the right place could bring down a building. The plan crystallizes. We'll use the drone to bomb the remnant headquarters during a gathering. Intel suggests the director holds council every 3 days. 3 days later, we're in position. Me, Jolene, Felix, Gina, Luis, hidden on a rooftop with sightlines to the remnant HQ. Felix launches the drone. It's loud but flies high enough to avoid immediate notice. Approaching target, Felix murmurs. Wait for my mark. The drone hovers over the building. Through binoculars, I can see guards on the roof looking up, confused. They see it, I say. Doesn't matter. 3, 2, 1, mark. The drone drops its payload and veers away. The explosion is massive, tearing through the building's roof. Fire and debris shoot skyward. Chaos erupts. Remnant fighters pour out of the building. Some on fire, some wounded, all panicking. Go, Gina says. We don't stick around to watch. We're moving before the smoke clears, racing through the city toward home. Behind us, Riverside burns. We make it back to the compound. Wait for retaliation. It comes the next day. A full assault. The remnant throws everything at us. Trucks, fighters, explosives, they're done with subtlety. We meet them with prepared defenses, firing positions, mines, overlapping fields of fire. The fight is brutal. I'm on the roof with a rifle, picking targets. The Glock ran dry long ago. I'm firing, reloading, firing again. My shoulder aches from recoil. Below, remnant fighters breach the outer fence. Luis and others meet them with close-range fire. Bodies pile up on both sides. A rocket hits the warehouse wall, blowing a hole. Smoke and dust everywhere. I can't see, can't breathe. Fall back, Randall shouts. Secondary positions. We retreat deeper into the compound. The remnant pushes in. It's house-to-house fighting now, brutal and personal. I'm in a hallway when a remnant fighter appears. We both raise weapons. He's faster. His shot hits my vest, knocks me down. Can't breathe. He advances for the kill shot. Jolene appears behind him, drives her knife into his neck. He drops. Get up, she screams at me. I struggle to my feet. The vest held, but my ribs are screaming. Every breath is agony. The fighting continues for hours. Room by room, we defend our home. Eventually, the remnant pulls back. We've hurt them too badly, cost them too much. They retreat, leaving their dead. We've won. Barely. The cost is staggering. 11 dead from our group. Almost everyone else wounded. The warehouse is shot to pieces, burning in places. But we're alive, and the remnant is broken. Kira moves through the wounded, triaging. I help where I can, though my ribs make every movement torture. Jolene finds me in the chaos. She's covered in blood, some hers, most not. We did it, she says. We survived. Same thing. Is it? I don't know anymore. In the aftermath, refugees arrive, remnant soldiers who desert, civilians who fled the fighting. They tell us the director died in the drone strike. The remnant is fragmenting, different factions fighting for control. We've broken them, but we've broken ourselves too. Randall calls a meeting of the survivors. We can't stay here. The warehouse is too damaged. We need to relocate. Where? Someone asks. Fort Redemption is still an option, or we find somewhere new, build again. I'm not going to Fort Redemption, Jolene says. I'm not trading one dictator for another. Then where? Patricia demands. We're wounded, low on supplies, exhausted. Where do we go? Silence. Nobody has an answer. Then, Dorothy speaks up, the elderly librarian who joined us months ago. North, she says. Before the outbreak, I heard about a place, a community in the mountains. Self-sufficient, isolated. It might still be there. That's a long shot, Gina says. Everything's a long shot now. But it's hope, and that's worth chasing. We vote. The decision is unanimous. We pack what we can carry, destroy what we can't, and abandon the compound that's been home for nearly a year. The journey north is hard. We travel in a convoy, 3 vehicles carrying 23 people. The children ride inside. The adults walk or ride exposed. We encounter infected daily. Small groups, easily avoided or handled. The degradation is nearly complete. Most infected now are shambling husks, barely mobile. But we also encounter other survivors, some friendly, some not. We trade information and supplies when we can, fight when we have to. One settlement tries to rob us. We drive through their ambush, guns blazing, leave 2 of their people dead. It's becoming routine, the violence. I hate how easy it's getting. After 2 weeks of travel, we reach the mountains. The air is cleaner here, colder. Fewer infected, the altitude or cold kept them away. We find the community Dorothy mentioned. It's real, a cluster of cabins around a central lodge, surrounded by forest. Maybe 40 people living there, farming, hunting, surviving. They're cautious, but welcoming. Their leader, a woman named Rachel, listens to our story. You can stay, she says finally. We have room, but you work for your keep, no freeloaders. That's all we want, Randall says, a chance to rebuild. We integrate slowly. The mountain community is different from what we built. Less militarized, more communal. It takes adjustment. I'm assigned to hunting parties. Turns out the skills I learned in Riverside, moving quietly, reading environments, staying alert, translate well to tracking deer. Jolene joins the farming crew. She's good with her hands, learns quickly. We see each other at meals and in the evenings, usually too tired to talk much. Month 13, a full year since the outbreak, we gather for a memorial. Names of the dead are read aloud. There are so many. When they read Webb's name, I cry. I barely knew the man, but his loss feels huge. Every loss does now. To the fallen, Rachel says, may we honor them by surviving, by building something worth their sacrifice. To the fallen, we echo. That night, Jolene and I sit by the fire outside our cabin. We've been sharing space, practical more than romantic, though the line is blurring. You think we'll make it? She asks. Long term? I think we'll die eventually. Everyone does. But maybe we'll live first. That's dark. It's honest. She leans against me. I'm glad you were in that police car. Glad Gina found you. Me too. We sit in silence, watching the stars. The same stars that shone over Riverside, over the compound, over all the places and people we've lost. But we're still here, still breathing, still fighting. The apocalypse didn't end the world. It changed it, made it smaller, harder, more brutal, but also more honest. More immediate. Every day is a choice now. Survive or surrender. Fight or flee. Connect or isolate. I choose survival. I choose connection. I choose to build something from the ruins. It's not much, but it's mine. Winter comes hard to the mountains. Snow piles up, temperatures drop below zero. We huddle in the cabins, burning wood constantly, rationing food carefully. The infected can't reach us here. The cold and altitude keep them away. We're safe from that threat at least, but cabin fever is real. 23 people in close quarters, stress and trauma still fresh. Arguments break out over nothing, tempers flare. Randall and Rachel work together to keep peace, establish routines, divide responsibilities, give people purpose. It mostly works. I spend my days chopping wood, hunting when weather permits, helping maintain the cabins. Physical labor that keeps me from thinking too much. Jolene and I grow closer. What started as practical cohabitation becomes something real. We don't talk about it much. Words feel inadequate for what we've been through together. One night, during a blizzard, she says, "I love you." 3 words, simple, terrifying. "I love you too," I reply, and I mean it. In this broken world, love feels like defiance, like hope made tangible. Spring comes eventually. The snow melts, revealing a world still changed, but healing. Green breaks through everywhere. The forest comes alive. We expand the farming, clear more land, plant more seeds. The harvest might actually sustain us through next winter. New survivors trickle in. A family from the east, 2 teenagers from the south, each one vetted carefully, integrated slowly. The community grows to 57 people. We're not just surviving anymore, living. Felix gets solar panels working, providing limited power. We have lights at night, refrigeration for food, charging for tools, small luxuries that feel huge. One day, I'm on a hunting trip when I find something, a crashed vehicle half buried in a ravine, recent within the last few months. Inside, I find supplies and a journal. I take both back to camp. That night, I read the journal. It's written by someone from Fort Redemption. They were escaping, trying to reach freedom. The entries are disturbing. They describe Fort Redemption as a prison. The military leadership is totalitarian. People are worked to exhaustion, punished severely for minor infractions. Resources are hoarded by leadership while others starve. Thank God we didn't go there, I tell Jolene. We almost did. But we didn't. We chose freedom over security. Was it worth it? All those people we lost? I don't know. But I'd rather die free than live as a slave. She considers that. Yeah, me too. Months pass. Summer brings abundance, food, water, warmth. The community thrives. But we get news from travelers. The remnant has rebuilt under new leadership. They're expanding again, more organized than before. Fort Redemption is growing too, absorbing smaller settlements by force. The 2 powers are on a collision course. War is coming to the region. Rachel calls a meeting. We need to decide. Do we stay neutral, pick a side, or run further north? We can't run forever, Marcus says. We can't fight either, Patricia counters. We're farmers and hunters, not soldiers. We were survivors, I say. Then we became fighters. Now we're builders. We adapt to what we need to be. So you're saying fight? I'm saying prepare, fortify, make ourselves too costly to attack. Maybe both sides leave us alone if we're not worth the trouble. It's decided. We strengthen defenses, build watchtowers, stockpile weapons and ammunition, train everyone in basic combat. We become a fortress in the mountains, not looking for trouble but ready for it. The war comes but passes us by. The remnant and Fort Redemption clash in the valleys below. We hear gunfire, explosions, but stay hidden. Eventually, one side wins, we're not sure which. The fighting stops. Refugees flee past us, heading further north. We take in those we can, turn away those who might be threats. By the time winter comes again, we're 83 people strong, the largest community in the region that we know of. Rachel steps down from leadership. She's old, tired, wants to rest. A council is formed. Randall, Gina, Dorothy, Felix, and me. Me? I ask. Why me? Because people trust you, Randall says. You came from nothing, survived the worst, and kept your humanity. That matters. So I serve, making decisions about supplies, security, integration of new people. It's heavy responsibility, but I don't shirk it. Year 2 passes into year 3. The infected are nearly gone now, degraded to immobility. We encounter maybe 1 or 2 a month, easily handled. The real threats are human. Raiders, wannabe warlords, desperate survivors. We defend against them all. But we also find allies, other communities scattered through the region. We establish trade routes, communication, mutual defense pacts. Something resembling civilization is emerging from the ruins. One day, a radio broadcast reaches us. Not the remnant or Fort Redemption, something new. This is the provisional government of the Western Territories. We are establishing order, rule of law, and mutual aid among survivor communities. We seek peaceful contact with all settlements. Could be legitimate, could be another power grab. We debate for days, finally decide to send emissaries. Gina volunteers. I go with her. We travel to the coordinates given, find a small city, partially rebuilt, with hundreds of people. They have electricity, running water, organized government. The officials we meet are cautious but genuine. They show us farms, schools, hospitals. They're actually rebuilding. Join us, they urge. Bring your community. Together we're stronger. What's the cost? I ask. Always the same question. Taxes in the form of food or labor, acceptance of our laws, contribution to the common defense, but also protection, trade, medicine, education. We'll discuss with our people, Gina says. Back at the mountain, we present what we found. The debate is fierce. Some want to join immediately, others are skeptical. We've been lied to before, Jolene argues. Fort Redemption seemed good too. But we can't isolate forever, Marcus counters. Eventually, we need to be part of something bigger. The vote is close, but decides in favor. We'll join the provisional government, maintain our autonomy, but contribute to the larger whole. It's a leap of faith, but that's all we've had from the beginning. Year 3 becomes year 4, then 5. The community grows to over 200. We're not just a settlement anymore. We're a town. Children are born. First generation post-outbreak. They'll never know the old world. Only this one. Is that good or bad? I'm not sure. They're growing up with skills we had to learn the hard way. Hunting, farming, defense, community. They're harder than we were, but also kinder in some ways. Jolene and I have a child, a daughter. We name her Hope. On the nose, I joke. It's honest, Jolene replies. Watching her grow, I see the future. Not the past we lost, but something new. Different, but maybe better in some ways. The provisional government solidifies. Elections are held, laws are established, trade flows between settlements. It's not perfect. Raiders still exist. Resources are scarce. Arguments break out. But it's functional. We're rebuilding civilization one day at a time. Year 10 arrives. A decade since I hid in that police car in the municipal garage. The garage still stands. I visit it during a trip to Riverside. The car is there, rusted and empty. The supplies I left behind long since scavenged. I sit in the back seat where I lived for 7 weeks. The space feels impossibly small now. How did I survive here? Desperation, luck, stubbornness. I carve my name into the dashboard. Derek Vance, survivor. A marker for anyone who comes after. Then I leave. Drive back to the mountain where my family waits. Jolene meets me at the gate. Hope is on her hip, 3 years old now, chattering about something. How was it? Jolene asks. Weird, like visiting a grave. In a way you did. The old you died in that car. And who am I now? Husband? Father? Councilman? Survivor? Builder? Human. That's a lot of hats. You wear them well. We walk home together. Our cabin overlooks the valley where the town spreads. Lights are coming on as evening falls. People are living, working, loving. The apocalypse happened, the world ended, billions died. But we didn't. We survived, we adapted, we built something new from the ruins. It's not the world we lost. It's smaller, harder, more fragile. But it's ours. And that's enough. I think about that $7 coffee on the last normal day, the insurance forms I was filing, the life I had that felt so important, all of it gone, meaningless now. But the connections I made after, the people I fought beside, bled with, built with, those matter. Those are real. I survived because others helped me survive. And I helped others in turn. That's the lesson of the apocalypse. Not that humans are doomed, but that we're stronger together. The infected taught us that the hard way. As darkness falls, I hold my family close. Listen to the sounds of the town, voices, laughter, life continuing. Tomorrow will bring challenges, it always does, but we'll face them together, because that's what we do now. That's who we are, survivors, builders, community, human.